Based on that, we can again figure out, we can know the metabolism of the patient. Like, I think we have covered this. This is what is normal membrane. It is the normal membrane of a cell membrane looks like this, and this is maybe the right now we are talking about the cellular level. What we are talking about here is this particular. You see the lipid peroxidation, damaged polyunsaturated phospholipids, enzyme cross-linkage damages. Enzyme cross-linkage damages are always on the high. Now every head we have got here, most of them, if not people are 1 in 3 persons are diabetic in Hyderabad. If not, somebody have got predisposition for diabetes. They are into metabolic syndrome. Everybody has got a problem with the glycation. This enzyme cross-linkage damages, oxidative free radicals. This is what is causing at the smallest level, giving rise to the disease. There are ways how can we the thing is, what we are trying to focus is you have to work at the cellular level to minimize the damage. This I have already talked about. I just have a word with I have told about super catalase and glutathione peroxidase. Quick word about the intercellular levels of antioxidants. Intercellular levels of antioxidants, they are water soluble, which are ascorbic acid and glutathione. Now we are giving injection glutathiones also. Dr. Lenny is doing a fantastic work on injection glutathione, and there are fat-soluble antioxidants also. Quick word about NK cell, which is natural killer cells, and the role is you cannot neglect the role as such. Apoptosis is common. The thing is, apoptosis is a distinct form of cell death taking place in majority of cells. It's common during embryogenesis, and it is to be there. Like, the thing is, apoptosis can be induced by physiological activities, heat shock proteins, bacterial toxins, oncogene, and chemotherapy drugs. If you have the normal apoptotic cycle and all that, maybe it will not lead into cancer and all that. What we are trying to put across, this exposure to common chemicals and radiation, and which is causing growth of cancer basically. Then there is something called electromagnetic radiation, which I don't think we can get away with this now. There are a lot of hormone mimics. Hormone mimics are usually cadmium, aluminum. This mimics estrogen. Aluminum is a neurotoxin. Everybody knows about that. But somehow it has crept in the system. Like, now everybody has got this aluminum foils and all that. And the people using deodorants, antiperspirants and all that, that has high levels of aluminum, which can find its way into the breast and cause some problems. We need to look at alternatives to cooking utensils. Gone are the days you used to use Germo silver. I'm talking about 20 years back. That Germo silver used to contain aluminum as well as lead and all that. You have to just throw it off. Still people are using aluminum cookers, pressure cookers. We need to look at this particular thing. Even the Teflon coated non-stick panwares, you are giving a room for again problems as such. Sunscreens, what we are using, common sunscreens. Everything is titanium dioxide. Titanium, again, it's a carcinogen, and we cannot, at least in India, we don't require sunscreens as such. Whatever ads and all that goes, that's a different thing. I think I'll just cut off this particular. Word about chlorination. What I was trying to tell about chlorination. Women with breast cancer has 50 to 60% high levels of organochlorines. And now where these organochlorines have come in the breast tissue? This was a study which was done in North America. It was found that this chlorine was as a result of showering in a hot water. All of us now shower with the hot water. Hot water shower, it increases the chlorine byproducts. It causes chlorine, chloroform, CCl4 and all that. And during the process with hot water, our skin goes into a kind of vasodilation and all the pores are open. So the thing is totally absorbed into your system. And chlorinated water is really a danger. I don't know how still it has come into that. We are not able to, our fishes in the aquarium, they die just because of chlorinated water. and we are still using that chlorinated water. This was the kind of thing which was work done by Lance Welles, which I was quoting as such. And our old foam mattresses and all that. Our ways have changed now. We are using foams and all that. These things keep outgassing some chemicals out. You have to be careful about these things. And PBDEs are basically this, again found in a lot of old furniture and all that. These are the byproducts basically, ethylene byproducts. This is what aromatic hydrocarbons I was talking about you. This is, I had got this one. Okay. Car exhaust I have already told about you, and CT scans and X-rays. Definitely, this is also a role as such. I have like I did my. I'm a radiology. I have done radiology practice for more than 16 years, and I must tell you that CT scans and traditional X-rays, we are unnecessarily exposing our patients to a lot of radiation. Synthetic hormone replacement, you all know about this, HRT and all that. This has been stopped because of the increased risk of breast cancer. The word about recycling of batteries, whatever mobiles we are using and all that, we have something called nickel-cadmium batteries. Once it is over, we just try to throw it off. This can really lead into an environmental hazard as such. It can recycle and it can come back to you the same stuff. Smoke, I think Dr. Hasnain Patel talks about cigarette smoke. It's a fantastic. He's an examiner. Like if somebody goes into mental toxicology, if somebody is smoking, he will not see that this guy doesn't pass out. And he says doctors are the more they smoke more. Yeah, so we were trying to work on that one. I just want to work, yeah, for the people like who are interested in bleaching and all that, be careful. Don't go for bleaches and all that. It contains chlorine and it causes problems. This problem you may not realize now. You after coming out of beauty parlor, you feel good, but the problem is it comes. Your problem starts somewhere 2 or 3 years down the lane. Natural pesticides and all that. There is a lot of mushrooming of cockroaches and all that in the city. All flats are inundated with cockroaches and all that. We keep using natural pesticides. We tell, okay, this is the best particular thing. You know, whatever pesticides, whatever things, cockroach, the pest control we do, that remains in the house for 20 years. We think that 2 days we'll close up the house, and we did it. We will lock the house, we'll go to a retreat, and we'll come back. This is done as such. It's not. These things will keep outgassing as such. And so the thing is, I just want to show one case study as well as what are the things we can do to maintain a healthy system to avoid cancer. Healthy diet is number one, organic vegetables, all things we are talking about now raw. The thing as such, the more the kind of you take carrot and all that raw, it has got good enzymes and it helps our such. Regular exercise and rest is that. Recharge is a must here. Adequate sleep. With adequate sleep, your melatonin levels are increased. The more your melatonin levels, your the IL-2 system, everything works well. You're not going to the cancer thing. It's an excellent antioxidant. Melatonin is called a terminal antioxidant. Stress management. I'm talking about the stress management. I'm not able to handle my stress. I'm not talking about the external stress, not my wife or my staff. I'm talking about the internal stress, metabolic stress. Your liver, in and day out, liver is going through an extreme metabolic stress. Whatever we are trying to take, whatever plastic bottle we are taking water and all that, this plastic bottle has got some phthalates, bisphenols. It goes into the system. Now I was saying they were doing some room fresheners here before everybody came, and this the room fresheners again it goes into your system. Again, your liver is stressed out. We have got a huge, very good carpet here. You know how outgassing occurs. We have to take care of all these things. We made sure that the AC is working in a very good condition. Before coming here, we made it sure. So you don't have to worry about this. Detoxification, Dr. Hasnain is going to talk about this. If I get diagnosed with cancer, what are the options we have? Historically, we used to go for a surgeon. We have got a lump. We want to remove that lump. That's the only thing we were concerned as such. Then radiation, then chemotherapy. What we are doing with surgery? It's with surgery you have pain and disability, reduction in immune function, as well as possible spread of cancer. There are no studies. Your tumor suppressor things are there. You have got a normal tumor. It produces some tumor suppressor products. Once you take out that tumor, this tumor suppressor things goes switched off, gets off, and there is a wide progression of the disease. This is all actually it's all peer reviewed, and I take this opportunity to just see this is one thing which is bothering us as a society. We keep telling, okay, he got a cancer, and we used to tell him that okay, he's going for a chemotherapy, yeah. So even our this guy, auto guy says, chemotherapy diya sir. 6 mahine rahega, he has popped up in 4 months. What are we doing as doctors? What are we doing? We need to really look into this one as such. Any alternatives? I was always looking for alternatives because I somehow felt that there is. I just talked a few lines about that. What are the dynamics of cancer cells? Cancer cells need much more sugar to grow. Always, because they depend on anaerobic glycolysis. They don't require oxygen. The more oxygen you give, they get killed, right? And need more metabolism. They need more metabolism. This is a kind of thing. And they have 6 times more number of insulin receptors than the other cells. Insulin receptors are more on the cancer cells, right? So based on this property, there is a thing called insulin potentiation therapy, which was done by various people. I've been trying to learn and trying to work on that. These cancer cells have got 70 times more IGF, insulin-like growth factor, which stimulates cell division. And see this important thing, only 20% of cancer cells in growth phase at given time. Only during growth phase, these cells are amenable to chemotherapy agents. What is the rest? 80% going dormant there. We need to look at that also. With full dose chemotherapy, only 20% are vulnerable. When insulin is given along with this chemotherapy, there is a novel method which I was trying to put across. This is called IPT, in which on one IV drip we give the insulin, on the other side we give the chemotherapy drugs. Chemotherapy drugs we have to give less than 10% as such. So what happens is that when we give the insulin, these cancer cells, they just open up their gates. Okay? Once this is opened up, and at that same time, when the patient goes into the 40 milligrams hypoglycemia, spread, starts having a rapid pulse rate, you need to totally cross-check that time. And at that time, we give that bolus of this injection. Once we give that, all the cancer cells, they get trapped and they are killed. This is the kind of thing, one of the alternate answers, which is called IPT. And apart from that, we need to do something else. Biological dentistry assessment is one thing. We have been talking to most of the doctors, dentists and all that, not to put this silver fillings, not to put that cadmium, not to put that braces, because this is going to cause problems later. This increases your nickel, this increases your mercury and other things. And supplements, I believe a lot in supplements, and I keep taking my supplements daily as such. We'll tell you about something more about what is a misconception that the antioxidants and other supplements are contraindicated with chemo radiation. It has been shown that it actually shows a benefit while using it. We have worked with some people. There's a oncologist in Mumbai. We have met him. These people also now they believe that we need to give this kind of supplements along with that. The supplements are usually niacinamide, ginkgo biloba. You have got green tea. You have got glutamine. You have got arginine, quercetin. These are all the good supplements. Everybody is talking about this. How this helps us? Arginine increases the natural killer cells. The melatonin increases IL-2. But I have seen one thing: low dose nitroxone. I learned from Dr. Hasleen Patel. And low dose naltrexone, it works wonders in all metastasis cases. And this is modified citraspectin, which is easily available. We don't have to depend on any pharma. You just have to take the peel of the orange, try to dry it, keep it, and give it to a cancer patient. It can prevent metastasis. We are trying to work out with breast cancer, other types of cancer as well here. And I try to do something called detoxification. In detoxification, the essence is basically eliminate the toxins and get cancer cells. And exercise is fundamental. You have to go for, I try to do with something called colon hydrotherapy, or I modify a process for colon hydrotherapy. We try to give something like coffee enemas. We have something called far infrared sauna, with which the lymphatics, the kind of far infrared sauna is a hyperthermia also occurs with that. It's a marvel thing as such. It looks so simple and all that, but I have great confidence. I just put my cancer patient to that, and they start responding with this. The whole skin is used as a eliminative channel. The people perspire, their sweat comes out, and the toxins are out from the body. That's a fantastic thing. And I try to IPT. I have been working out for IPT. Ozone is one thing which I have been using since last 2-3 years. I have been through some of the conferences in Mumbai, and I learned from there. Ozone, I think it comes under complementary alternate medicine. It's not in the natural mainstream medicine, but it does wonders. Most of the patients, they showed me, I learned so many things from my patients as such. Lateral is one therapy. Lateral is vitamin B17. One of the patients with oral carcinoma, her daughter told me what is the role of lateral and all that. Then I went to the net and checked out what is lateral and all that. So these are the things I just try to, hyperthermia, these things are all we have discussed. Ozone therapy is, Dr. Arvind Kulkarni in Mumbai, before every radiation, he takes a ozone shot, subjects the patient for a ozone shot, then goes for radiation. It makes a lot of difference as such, patients doesn't go into all the side effects and all. This is a case study I just want to discuss. This is a 46-year female. She had cyclical mastalgia. She had a lump breast. After that, no family history of cancer. And this was the thing. Everything was done for them. Chemo was done. They didn't opt for surgery. They had gone for all chemotherapy cycles. Herceptin was started. And we started somewhere in May last week. And after convincing, we thought, okay, let us go ahead with the detox and ozone therapies. And this was the result. I just read out. This is the biopsy report which showed invasive duct cell carcinoma, right breast. And there was, all the reports are there, but I thought I'd just show you the main thing as the skeletal mets were there after the chemo. And at that point, we started doing our treatments here. And this skeletal mets were, even during April it was done. They were all coccyx, S1 vertebra, and acetabular margin were showing hotspots. After 4 months of our ozone and other stuff, whatever we are trying to work on, trying to build up the immunity and all that, the bone scan came normal. This was on 9th October, sir. So I just want to, I don't want to go into this genome thing as such, that will take another 1 hour. I thought maybe this is one thing, as a kind of, what I felt, enough is enough. We need to do something, we need to look at some other perspective. Even if I am labeled a quack or alternative doctor, I don't mind.